Let's play Word500. I'll start with Blaze today. We're playing in the red face hard mode. Okay, so one yellow. Now we're gonna assume it's not the Z. I'm gonna just say we have yellow E until proven otherwise. Let's try. Let's see if we can get another uncommon letter. Like we could do something like quest. That seems good. Two yellows. So we're gonna say it's still the E. Normally I'd bring in the vowel, but I kind of want to bring in an S or a T at this point. Let's see if we can get the S to work somehow. Where would the E go? So is it going to be like something like poser? Let's try it. Still two yellows, so it would have to still be the E and the S if we're sticking with this. So we could do like sen. I was going to say sense, but no way. Is there going to be an SE? Or I could do like E here and then S at the end, but there aren't very many words with S at the end that are still answers. So yeah, let's try SE, which would be forced if we start with S. There's got to be a word. I'm just not seeing it. Send. Send. Is there really nothing? I don't see it. I only have I left. Can't do C's. We know there's no Z. Okay, so maybe I need to pick different letters, which would be interesting because we'd be gathering them pretty quickly. Let's say we still have the E, so we don't gather them too quickly, but no S. So that would mean maybe I should bring in the U. Well, maybe O is better though. Let's bring in the O and the T and see if we can build something out of this. So like T E or like an ETO. Veto. Maybe an N. Oh, I should use that. What does this? Or is it TE something O? Tenor? No R. Ooh, this is tough today. We could use the O and an R. So we could use the U and the R. That's what I meant to say. Like this. And then we don't need to use the T. So then we could put the R second. That would force us to start with E though. And then the U would go somewhere. I don't like this. I guess the R doesn't have to go second. So we put E second, we put the R here and then the U here. What's left for that though? Rerun. Let's try rerun. One yellow and rerun. So let's keep assuming it's the E and see what that tells us. So no R, no U. We could still use the O. That would mean no S. And we got to use the T then. Okay. So the T's got to go somewhere. We got E and O. This is basically what I was thinking before. But actually, if there's an E, we got to start with E. I'm starting to think maybe there is no E. But let's not quite go there yet. The T needs to go somewhere and the O needs to go somewhere. I don't know exactly where these are going. Obviously, if I did, I'd know the answer. But starting with E is tough here. To and or would it be OT? Emoth. You know what? I think I don't want E first. So let's just say no E and work from there. So let's bring in an A instead of the E. That's a good vowel. And then if the R was yellow, I still want R second. So let's try that. I need another yellow here. We could bring in the S twice so we don't overload on letters here. Do I bring in the U or the T? What do we have already? SAR? And then I would need to bring in... Oh, I have to bring in the T. Are we doing STR... Strap? I think we're doing strap. Oops, no, we don't need the P. I think we're doing stray. STRAY. No, we're not. Not even close. Okay, so if we're taking the A, this A is green. This A is in, but we don't know if it's green or yellow. And we're not bringing in the E. Wow, I was not expecting that. We only get one of STR if we're using the A. So we better do that. I think the S. What if we start with S and the A is yellow? No T or R. So we got to use the U. And the O or the P. So S, A here. We need a U. It's not sauna, but I kind of tempted to guess it. The words don't end in U. So the U would have to be here. And then sauna is the only word I can think of, but it's not that. I need to use a P or an O. If I use the O, it would be at the end, and that just seems wrong. So maybe the P here. But no, I don't think this is a word. So maybe if I make the A green instead. And then do I want the R to be yellow here? Let's see. So we're saying no E still. Watch it start with E. I don't think we're going to grab the Y here. We need ST or R. So I think we have to bring in an S or a T because I don't want Q and U. Watch it be. It's not a QU word, so yeah, it really feels like. What if it was an SQU word like squad? Does that actually work? No, because we can't do the S and the Q and the U. So why don't I just say there's no Q, but we can't bring in both ST if we use this A. So we would have to bring in the U and then one of ST, which means no R. We're bringing in the U. That's fine. That works out. And then if I don't bring in the S, if I bring in the T, I have to bring in P and O as well. So I'd have P-O-U-A T. P-A-U-A-T. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, technically, it's not too many letters, so let's just see what that looks like. So if no S, that's a yellow T, that's a yellow T, P and O are yellow. So what could we... The second letter wouldn't be a vowel. Wouldn't be the T, so it would have to be the P. And then the T... We can't do TP, so we'd have to do the T here. And then the U can't... it would be uptow. Okay, so yeah, it's not that. So it's the S. So we're going to bring in the S instead. And then I don't know if we want the P or the O, so we're just going to leave these empty. The S will be yellow. This is all assuming there's an A. Maybe there's not an A, but... So the S is probably here, because I don't know if we want to end an S here. And then we need a U. Unless it's US, we do UA here. Usual is an interesting word, but that's not going to be it. Need a P or an O. I don't like either of those. I don't think this is right. If it was P, we won't be able to start with P, so that's not good. So we'd have to use an O. So maybe we don't have an A. No A and no E. No Z. So why don't we try this L out? Still don't want a Q. Still don't want a Y. We need two of STR then. So what if I just bring in S and T? We need this S. We wouldn't have the R. Still need a vowel. And the L doesn't go second. Huh. I may need to do another filler here. don't know what to do. Feels like I should bring in the O to have a vowel, but okay. Let's work with this S, T, and L just to see if there's anything. So like either the T second's right or the S first is right. Let's look at S first being correct. And then the T is somewhere. We need an L somewhere. What is this? Oh my gosh, this is taking so long. Okay, I'm gonna do a filler, but I need to figure out what's gonna actually be helpful here. What if I did if I did craze, hear me out. If I did craze, my theory is it would be all red. And if it's not, then that means I need to bring in one of these. Another option is, what's another option? I still can just use an I, but I feel like I'm running out of letters already, just using what we've got. What if I start a word with E and try my best to include letters that, yeah, like if I did eerie and I got a green, it would probably, okay. Instead of eerie, what if I did MC? If I do MC and I get one green, it's probably that we start with E. Otherwise, all red would tell us there is no E. But there is the wild card of M and C maybe being in the word, but I think probably we already have all our letters. So I'm going to guess this first. 2 greens in MC is extremely surprising. So we know it can't be this E or this E, because then this would be green, which doesn't match, or this would be green, that doesn't match. I think we do have a green E first. And I think that's the issue. I threw out the idea of starting with E too early. So that means no BLAZ, so no A. And it means I need an M or a C. So I got to be careful about what letters I bring in here. They have to be big repeats. So if I bring in the S, it's yellow here, and yellow here. So now that's used up. That's used up. This is kind of the point. I need a green here. We could end in Y, or I can't put the R green here. So no R. Et doesn't make sense. So what if we do end in Y? Yeah, there's no T in this case. Do I need the U? No, I can't grab that U. I really just have the S and the E and then one of these MCs, huh? So like S. Something Y? Clearly I did something wrong. Maybe it's not the S. But like even thinking about like M something and Y, like Emery. Does Emery work? I'm just gonna try it. Wait, how's Emery spelled? I can't use the E in the middle, so I was hoping Emery spelled differently. All right, let's start over. I'm pretty sure we have the E, because I don't think we're gonna have MC green there. So E first. So no A's. QU is just not gonna work, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess equal or something, or like if we did EQU, that doesn't work because one of these MCs is green. So yeah, I'm pretty convinced there's no Q. We only get one of US or T. Bringing in the U makes some amount of sense. And then we'd have to green this R, which can't be green here. No, we could yellow the R. Okay, well actually let's look at that. Let's bring in the U. No ST. So no ST, no S. This U's in, so no R. Oh no, that doesn't work. Okay, I didn't see that far ahead. So, sorry, I have to clear because there's no undo. We're doing this. There's no A. And we're not bringing in the U because it breaks things. So I already tried S, so we're going to bring in the T instead. I don't know if the T is yellow or green here. Now, it's possible that we need this R, which would be yellow here, yellow here, yellow here. We need this T, and we're going to bring the Y at the end. Is it empty? Wait, we can't quite do empty, but I'm going to guess it. No, it is empty, so I must have... Oh, there's no R. Okay. I just thought about EM ending in Y with a T somewhere, and empty just came to mind. Wow, that was tough because, yeah, one vowel. Unless you count the Y. Wow, okay. How long did that take me? 16 minutes. Wonderful. That's the problem with Word500. Sometimes it's quick, but sometimes it can take a long time. All right, well, how'd you do?